All right, what's up, everybody? It is BallietBran. Today, we've got a special episode for you and live stream. It's going to be myself, Markable Thoughts, and Hodl.Dog. So we're going to cover, any of the topics that you guys want in the comments, but we're also going to be covering some of the recent information in Hex. Richard mentioned that he's going to be hard forking Ethereum, and then also some grayscale type of competitors, and we're just going to be covering some things in regards to Hex and anything else you guys want to talk about. So without further ado, I've got a 90-second intro so we can start sharing the links out, and then once the intro is done in 90 seconds, we'll bring Hodl.Dog on and Markable Thoughts. So 1 second here.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Yeah. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Motherfucking jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch!
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. BallietBran.
All right, what's up, everybody? So without further ado, we got Hodl.Dog and Markable Thoughts coming on.
Boom.
How we doing, guys?
Stake that Hex. Dude, I still love your intro every time. Like, no one sees me when that intro goes home, but I'm dancing. It's a good intro.
The intro is dope, man. The intro is
I gotta give
great.
I give all the credit to Joe Exotic. He's
He made that?
Yeah, he made that, and I asked him, hey, dude, can I use this on my intro? And then I added the clip, obviously, of Richard Hart after. But yeah, Joe Exotic did all of that. So shout out to you, Joe.
Nice.
That's great.
So
how are you guys doing? What's going on in chat?
Yeah, let's see. We got Hex Clips in the house.
What is up, Hex Clips? Oh, by the way, before we start with anything, I'm going to put a link in the chat. Hex Clips and we have created a Telegram group where you can just drop your clips that you like. You can either clip them yourselves, maybe you have already a short video you like, or you can drop some timestamps in that group, and that makes it so much easier for us to clip. And yeah, just throughout that chat, you can also just use those videos for your channels, right? That's what I wanted to say.
Thanks for your service, Mark.
You guys are doing great with Hex Clips, man. It's a really valuable thing in this community. Even someone the other day, I think it was Nerd Girl and her mom, but they were talking about that, that not everyone has 4 hours, right, to sit down and watch one of Richard's live streams. But if you can clip out the golden nuggets that there's many of there, then people can still get value out of that.
Yeah, man, it's definitely when I started with Hex, I definitely did not watch the live streams. I watched Richard's live streams, but I wasn't even aware there were a lot of community streams. So I just watched Richard's, and then I watched a ton of Hex Clips. So it's a good place to be. It's a good place to add some value. And if you're not doing anything already for the community, this is a really good way to contribute with not a lot of work, but it's a lot of value when you just drop some timestamps to me. That saves literally hours.
Yeah, I think this is a really good a good support. Like it's easy to do, and you just do the timestamps, and somebody else can clip it, or the other way around, and you share a little bit the work. So I think this helps. We saw this in Twitter, like people help each other. Like also a hexologist mentioned it, and do what you can do and what you're good in it. So like for example, he was really good at making thumbnails. And he was thinking about to make thumbnails for Richard Hart's streams. So this would be maybe a help for Richard Hart's videos, because he is just uploading the videos like they are. They are great, but for the content and the algorithm, maybe it would help to have a nice thumbnail to push a little bit Richard Hart's content as well. So
yeah, for sure, man. It's that's all interesting thing that this community, no one really gets paid, but everyone's just doing it because they feel like doing it. And stuff like thumbnails or timestamps or whatever, especially timestamps, like that's the easiest thing you can do, but it adds value. Because I'm running my own company, but I'm still doing these things just because I feel like it. And I'm not getting paid. I don't care if I get paid. I just want to do this. And so these small things really, really help. And then you're really part of the community, I think.
Well, so true. It helps out everyone.
Yeah, totally. And if you do what you're good at it, so everybody does a little bit of the work, and this is the community work. This is why we're in. Like it's not somebody's doing all the work, or we have all the expectation from somebody. So yeah.
And also that, by the way, creates the power of the community. I mean, there are a lot of like the moment there's one person in the community that gets paid and does everything, and it's not anymore a community thing, right? It's just someone's business, and that's okay. That also has some value, but there is something that you can't really explain about things that are being made by the community just because we feel like it. It's interesting. There has to be a balance, that's for sure, but it's just really nice to be here just because everyone is just they just want to be themselves and just have some fun, add some value to the space. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting if you look that we have all the same interests, like, or the same Hex is our interest, and we are coming from around the world. We have different backgrounds and different stories. So it's quite amazing how we can be connected just through one topic, and we try to push this topic forward. I think we will talk about a little bit about the recent activities later on in the stream, but like the forks and the wrap t-shirt and stuff, like I think it would be also interesting to see like an opposite opinion of somebody, because we still agree with everything we see, but like to see a little bit of controversy, like you see what I mean? Like it's a little bit also what I'm interested in, to see the other side. If we stay in this stuff, we will just like, we cannot just agree to everything. We should also question stuff more, maybe in the future as a community, not to say no, but just to question a little bit. I don't know.
Well, that's what we're doing though. Like whenever things happen, there's at least half of the people say, no, I'm not okay with this. And then everyone gets in that communication. But that's the whole thing. We have 24/7 streams on. And so whenever something new happens, it's being covered and it's being it's being discussed about like right away. So I think everyone has a different point of view on new things happening, but then it's being covered so many times that within just a day or something like that, everyone is already pointing the same direction, because everyone's kind of, this is the best thing. All right, let's go.
Well, that is the important thing, is having those conversations. And just like a lot of us did our own research with Hex, you might have heard it called a scam, and then you look into it and it's like, oh wait, this is the complete opposite. Same thing with any of those other topics, wrap steaks or whatever else. Like it is important that we have the conversations and kind of ask all the questions that can be done. But I think it could be very we actually got a Johnny Chaos in here as well, so we're gonna
there goes the quality, guys.
There goes the quality.
Chaos has arrived.
I think he raises the quality, man.
Exactly.
Hey guys, how's it going?
I mean,
Hey, Johnny.
Good, man. I like your background.
It changes. Just like you guys. I just hit a little switch.
No, it looks good, man. Your setup is cool. I didn't get to watch all of your stream this morning, but it's just like what Markable said, that so many Hexicans are streaming all the time, and even actually in the Hex Telegram, there's like an audio chat. Have you guys seen that? It's badass, dude.
For if you haven't consumed enough Hex content yet.
I didn't
drowned
see that. Let's check that out.
I keep open my Telegram more often right now just to see if Richard pops up in the voice chat. Because that stuff, you can't get it back. So then I just drop everything and just listen in. It's a good function, man. For sure.
I didn't discover this yet. Where is it? In the Hex main Telegram chat or somewhere else? Okay.
Yes, at the top, there's a little tab, and you're able to hit join conversation.
Ah, freaking 26 people talking about stuff. Great.
It's cool, man. It's awesome. I played
Johnny
around with
doesn't
it
have a
little bit.
haircut.
I'm gonna listen to that as well. Yeah, I think we have a lot of content going on also simultaneously in the internet. Like Hex content is like bombing into your brain, so you cannot miss it. But I think it's good. Everybody should like express their opinions, talk about whatever they want to talk about. Like Mark says a lot of times, just do a video, do it, and you will get out your message, whatever you want to say. I think this is good.
That's why I am such a proponent of what Mark talks about in regards to timestamps, or even if you have your own clips, because there is so much Hexican content that obviously you can't keep up with it all. So if we've got the best clips on Hex clips of everyone's streams, then yeah, you can really get bits and pieces that are still valuable.
Yeah,
we're
for
still
sure.
at a penny level.
And we're still at a penny
All
level,
this
dude.
content, we're still at a penny level.
That's why I wanted to join now, because I knew that if it would hit $1, it would get really hard to get on that main scene, if you could call it that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wanted to be here now, because now it's still easy to join all the streams and all that. But at some point, when there's too many people, you can't open up streams anymore just for random people, right? And
Well, I've seen actually we've got probably 4 or 5 brand new Hex streamers. So I mean, we're still getting Hex streamers.
So who's new?
There's a guy, his name starts with an S. It's like Sinzu or something. He's on Twitch.
I've seen him.
A guy, Canadian. I don't remember his name offhand, but he just started to stream. We've got a few.
That's
starting
cool,
streams.
I like that. That's good
I like
stuff.
it because it gives it like a fresh perspective, right? Myself and Johnny, and I don't know how long, and even actually Hodl.Dog too, or any of you guys, we've all kind of been in it for such a while that it's so nice to like hear someone else's perspective and like new questions too. It really makes things invigorating.
Yeah, that's what I meant in the beginning when I said like to have some other opinions, because you're right, we are discussing every new topic in the community right away, and it gets turned over 127 times and we analyze it, everything. But what I meant is I need some inputs from the outside Hex community. I need the challenge from there, because then I will also learn more about Hex, because I have to explain it even better or from scratch. And this is what I meant.
Sure.
I need, if we talk about like a fork or RapT shares or whatever, I need also the stimulus from outside and not just from the inside.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good point.
Well, the problem is we don't know a lot about how the fork's going to go down until it happens, because that's generally how Hex rolls, right? I think. It's actually kind of odd for Richard to make an announcement before something happens. That's actually
it's the announcement of the announcement.
Yeah, it's announcement of announcement. So but that was the Tron thing, wasn't it? We're going to make an announcement of an announcement today, and then we're going to make another announcement of our next announcement. Stay tuned.
Exactly.
But it's actually kind of unusual to get an announcement like that. But I think he's just so fed up with the way things are going, not in Hex, but in the crypto space in general, that it's something had to be addressed. So,
but also I think he already was busy with all that stuff, and now he came out and announced that stuff because there were so many things being built on Hex now, and he was like, well, let me say this right now because it's going to be completely different. I think he was already busy with that stuff before he wanted to announce
he
it.
made the announcement where he was looking for devs, and then he was interviewing devs.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
okay, I sent him a message. He's like, I can't talk now, interviewing devs. I'm like, okay, you do that. So it's like, okay, that's much more important. Forget my joke of the day. Let's just go.
Johnny is texting Richard on a daily basis with some
memes.
Some memes and some encouraging words. You go, Richard. Today is going to be a great day.
Every day is a great day, guys. We get daily airdrops. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's so true, Johnny. I mean, I look at the amount of T-shares that I have, and obviously you multiply that by the daily payout, and it's like, man, this is all done passively and trustlessly. I'm not having to start a business, and even before I came into cryptocurrency, I was always curious and interested about entrepreneurship and like passive income, and that was always something that was a interest, at least, that I wanted to start. And so it's so nice that just the daily payout, you really get a lot for the T-shares. It's great.
Well, my friend, there is nothing passive about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Or a business owner. There is nothing passive about that. You don't work, you don't eat, bro. I mean, this is something else, man. This is actually passive income. Running your own business. I mean, I like to tell people, it's like, oh, you run your own business, you got all the free time in the world. No. That means a lot of the time you're going to work for free until you can make it. So it's a different perspective. It really is. I'm relaxed. I enjoy this because, when you're a business owner, look, if you get sick, you're not working. Nothing's getting done, right? If you're sick and you're holding Hex, you're still getting paid. So
true, man.
And that even goes, for, a lot of small businesses don't have like insurance to, or for disability or something like that. If something takes them out, they're out, right? I get in a motorcycle wreck or something, that can take me out of the game completely. So something like this allows you to have a fund that even when you're unable to work, it's still producing you something, right? Even if it's not a lot, it's still something.
Totally. And it's true. And sometimes you got to start small. I know someone in one of the audio chats was saying that, right now they got 50 T-shares and that they're working up to the goal of 100. And the cool thing about Hex is the longer pay is better bonus will always exist, where you're getting triple the amount of T-shares and the value. And anyways, if you've got a longer time horizon and if you can manage those stakes well, then yeah, you can kind of climb the ranks and have more T-shares than you know what to do with.
I like T-shares.
And
well, it does get
all
to
about
a point,
T-shares.
if you noticed, I don't know.
Sorry, Johnny?
Go ahead.
on.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say it's not about the time, not the amount of T-shares you hold. It's also the time, how long you hold those T-shares. So you should keep this in mind as well. Sorry, Johnny, go on.
But these short stakes, the short ones that are doing like 30 days and stuff, if you notice, they're getting longer and longer. Yeah, because they're really starting to realize how this game is played. I saw like like 130 million X that was staking for like 30 days, and they just took that and they just put it out there. So it's like, okay, they got it now. They made a little profit off the top, and now they're like, oh, wait a second, I'm giving this stuff away. Let's go ahead and stake this out and earn some real interest, you know?
Makes perfect sense. It's kind of like testing, right?
Mhm.
Dude, the average duration right now is 5.31 years.
Damn.
Last week it was, yeah. Well, so the monster stake got it higher for like, I believe it was 0.15 up or something, and that made it to a 5.28, and now it's already 5.31. When was the monster stake? Like last week, right?
Yeah, last Sunday. Yeah.
So cute.
No, Mark, I completely agree. My last stream was actually before that came out, was the billion or however much it ended up being stake, and there's always like controversy that's like almost kind of like fear, like, oh, are they gonna market sell? And they ended up showing, kind of like Johnny mentions, the cool thing about Hex is you don't just talk about hodling and stuff like this, but you show it with your time locking. And for 5.3 years, like, that's badass that we've got that average already.
Yeah, man, that's insane. Like every time every time I look at my average and then the overall average, and I'm like, I need to get up.
Yeah, and
like, you want to be ahead of it, right? What?
Hodl.Dog's had his bet too.
Today's like a dog session.
Well, he's standing on me at the moment. He's being stood on. All right, Mr. Toes, let's go.
Yeah, no, I think we have too much.
You call him Mr. Toes?
Porthos, Mr. Toes. Porthos the pirate. Three Musketeers.
That's great.
Johnny's a true pirate, definitely.
Hey, what happened with good texture? Asks Lyman. Lyman Ortega asked, so what happened to the fallen hexagon named Good Texture? Very interesting character. I've never.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything from him since he's been gone.
Rug pulled.
Yeah, I think he doesn't understand the backstory. I mean, it was just someone that was in the community for a while, and then during one of the streams, the Discord Syndicate stream, I believe it was, he kind of had a fallout with Richard Hart, and I don't know, just kind of a lot of controversy in FUD. I mean, we've seen it a lot, even just in Hex since this time, where you got people that are like fully on board, and then all of a sudden a switch or something like that flips, where now it's kind of the opposite and attacking. So I think once that happened during one of the live streams with him and Richard going back at it for like he's got it on his channel, it's still on Discord Syndicate, but there was just a lot of like back and forth. So people just ignored it.
I believe it had something to do with the fact that he was partnered up with a rival coin.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Ah, all right.
So it was kind of an infiltration sort of scenario, and then it just kind of, the switch got thrown, and there it was, So whatever.
Yeah,
he probably still owns some quite a bit of shares.
I hope it for him.
I just want to say hope, but I saw a tweet from him like a couple days ago that he tweeted like, by the end of the year we're at 2 penny or something. So I think he's still in the game. Just people come and go, man. So that's what we have seen since the beginning of day one, FOMO action. So
with that being said, I'm a spy for Bitcoin Cash.
Well, let's see how that works out for you, bud.
No worries, welcome, man.
Cash to the moon.
What do you need to know?
Well, everybody has their own motives and own purposes, for reasons they get involved or they're drawn to things or whatever, but inevitably it just kind of works out, right? It just works out.
I think it's this. This is the main problem for the people. Like it works. I know we said this 1,000 times, but it's code. It has been tested. It has been audited, and it works. And this is what makes people a little bit upset. I think you don't have to change all the time stuff. It just does exactly what it has to do. Of course, we have some side places like the liquidity or a fork or whatever topics are coming, but the main fucking contract is working. So yeah,
it's hard to argue with 14 months worth of historical data, isn't it? That tends to shut the haters right up. Look at the chart. Read the code. If you don't have time to understand it, I don't have time to explain it. Go about your business. Your opinion doesn't change reality. Just move along, little doggy. Go on, move along. You know.
But where does the ETH go?
Where does it go?
No worries.
Well,
You know, that one always killed me. That was my favorite, really. It's like, okay,
What?
so like, where's it go when you go onto an exchange and you exchange it for something else? It goes away. That's where it goes. You know? I
Yeah.
mean,
You go grocery shopping.
where did this conversation even come from? It just where? You know, who comes up with this? Where do you go?
It never happened in 2017 with ICOs, you know.
It never happened in 20. Yeah. Where did your ETH go? Where did your ETH go when you put it into what? How many we got now? What we got? Paid. Well, somebody got paid. It wasn't their users. We got cream. Somebody got cream. We got pickle. Somebody found himself in a pickle. I mean, you know, all of these different things, right?
Where do the pancakes go?
Sounded like there was another one that sounded like something like paid. It was like I forget what, but anyway, watch out for these damn things that are named after like paid, you know.
And food. Don't do anything with food. Eat food. Don't play with food.
And it's like, you know, everyone's like, oh, you got to watch out for that hex. You mean an actual code? You guys are buying 5-line token generator tokens. Okay.
Right.
What are you warning us about? You are aware that there's almost 3,000 lines of code in hex, right? Have you read any of it? No. Well, what are you trying to have a conversation for it about it? You're buying a token generator token.
Well, and it's, you know, the thing that's different about Hex to Johnny's point and Hodl.Dog's point is a lot of these other cryptocurrencies, not only are they not complete, most of them, but a lot of them are promising, you know, work in the future. And so people, they see something like Hex that is complete and, you know, it's just got 100% uptime and it works exactly like it's supposed to. And I don't know, I think it might just be greed or naivety or whatever it is. It seems that people like to almost like masochistically chase the profit coins. And then Papa B was talking about this in the voice chat, but when you have something like that of like impermanent loss or something like that, like the maximum downside potential can be infinity, right? If something goes to near zero. So it definitely pays to be in products that not only have a good community, have a good founder if they're public, but also have good fundamentals. And Hex, you know, has had 100% uptime, has never rug pulled, things like that. People's fears always have been disproven, even on big payday, you know, disproven. So,
and still being disproven daily.
True, man.
But they've gotten quiet, haven't they, Bran? Haven't they gotten a bit quiet? I mean, it's kind of.
I haven't had many people commenting in my YouTube videos saying Hex is a scam besides one person, which is like once a month that I'll see it. And, you know,
it's
time
the same
really,
dude with a different name.
Oh,
it is. And it shuts people up. You know, that 100% uptime does shut people up. And you know, Hex just continues to keep on chugging like the, you know, consistent thing.
I think there's someone in the chat right now that says Hex is a scam.
No worries, they'll be proven wrong.
Oh, Markable as well. No,
but Johnny, you're right. Actually, it went down. Like the comments, the hate on. I was asking myself more: are we just like completely ignored now, or is the hate going away? You know, are we just like? But I think we're getting mentioned every time here and there. So I think we will, not we, Hex will gain the appreciation he deserves. I think over time, it's a certificate of deposit, it's something over time. So I think we will get the respect also over time, and not instant like some food token, which is like here from today and tomorrow it's like $120, and people are still arguing why Hex is not going to $1. So yeah, it's for me, it will take time. You need patience, and you will be rewarded heavily. I guess this is what I see.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? So they say Hex buys its own tokens when it's completely organic, right? You know, and they're like, oh, look at the price of this, or this is going up, this is going up. Those scenarios are founders buying their own coins to make them, you know, at a higher value than they actually are via wash trading. So, you know, some of these things are highly assessed than they're actually valued at. And Hex is completely organic, and you can't bot trade it because it costs you ETH every time you're running gas fees. So you couldn't bot trade it if you wanted to. So what you're looking at is absolute organic, as to where exchanges can run their bots and pump prices on things for absolutely zero fees because it's all internal. So you might be looking at something thinking, oh, look at this thing's really going up, but is it really going up? Do they really have the interest that they have, you know, or is this just, you know, make believe?
I have no idea. I just saw, like, I think an hour ago it wicked up to, I don't know, 14 pennies. No, how you say that's like 14 of a pennies? I don't know.
Penny and a half.
It's wicked up insane. But like somebody bought for 50K and just instantly sold again. Like the same address. Like, I don't know what you're doing, guy. It's, I don't know, maybe you have some bots inside, but like it's weird.
Well, we've had that too, but the difference between when it happens to Hex is it becomes a blip on the map and nobody cares, and it's like it never happened. Yeah. When it happens to other coins, they're wrecked, they're destroyed, yeah. They go down and they don't come back, right? And you know, every hater in the world has been watching Hex, waiting for the there it is, it's never coming back. Oh, there it goes back. Oh, there it is, never coming.
It's back.
It's back. And you know, that's got to be disappointing. Can you just imagine how defeating that is when you want something to fail so damn bad and it just won't do it? You know?
It must be nerve-wracking for some people because, like you said, we received a lot of hate, and I don't want to cover this topic anymore or too much, but like you see it less and less, and like we just saw the tweet like from this dude, like the Zacharai from QuickSwap yesterday. Like we had this little beef with Hexologist who could not get the funds out of QuickSwap. Mm-hmm. And then he also wrote in this response, this dude, like he gave shit to Hex in the beginning, and now he's giving the respect
right
that we deserve. And you see, it's not an apology maybe directly, but it's like it is acknowledging that Hex is not just a shitty scam coin. Yeah, I don't know.
And those kind of acknowledgments are great. Yeah, he wasn't exactly apologizing because Hex had you know, right. Nobody wants
but
to
it was wrong, some sort of, yeah.
But he did say, you know, look, you know, we're not discriminating. We think Hex is a good project, you know, and I mean, we're a product, but we'll take project, whatever. As long as they're saying nice things, it's all good. But see, that's smart business practice, right? You don't want to down something that you may carry later or that you are profiting from. You don't really want to down that thing. And, you know, the Hexicans did bring the liquidity to QuickSwap. So I'm sure he appreciates that. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it will be seen by other people in the space. So it's just what I wanted to say. It's not that everybody has to apologize. It would be nice. But you see the little messages in between the lines, and they have to think ahead as well. Like you said, it's their business model. You don't want to trash talk Hex, and then you cannot list it anymore because nobody will provide liquidity, and you miss out on the fees. But yeah, whatever. I think it was just a little thing I noticed yesterday. So that was nice.
Well, most of the people that follow me on Twitter are all hardcore Hexicans. That's how they figured out who I am, and that's why they follow me. So it's kind of interesting to see when I did a poll that I had 8% of the poll saying that they were 12 months late. They got in, and after 12 months they got into Hex. So that's an 8% increase of people that came in after the fact. So I mean, we could factor that out and try to figure that out. But since most of the people that follow me are already like day oneers, it's interesting to see that there's was an 8% response to that poll that said they were just getting in. So take it for what it's worth.
You're great at onboarding, it seems.
I don't know that it's me. I'm just saying they followed me.
Yeah. Okay.
After the fact. So that message reached people that were new. So that shows that we do have that kind of growth. So 8%, that's like 20 people. Because there's like 250 people answered the poll, and 8% of those people. So it's like 20 new users that came in after just my little sample poll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Like slowly but surely, people get in, and I think it's a good thing because now, just people that don't have a lot can jump in right now, and they can have like life-changing wealth at some point. And yeah, it's good to be in a place where you can finally, you have like such a giant window of time of jumping in before stuff happens. Even if Hex already went up this much, it's going to go up way more, I think. Should be. And it's just a good feeling to onboard people as well. It's good stuff. I've been telling some people that I've been onboarding my dad, and like he already has some stakes, but now he figured some other things out. I don't think he watched anything, but just from me talking a little bit. And now he was like, I need to get more t-shirts, man. Good stuff,
That's
man.
when you realize that they understood already the system, when they want more t-shirts.
Yeah, exactly. And
this is a great indicator.
In the beginning, it's funny though, because all the people that you onboard, or not all of them, but a lot of them that I onboarded, when I talk about exchange or when I talk about Uniswap, for example, people really don't understand where your Ethereum goes, or how you can make a swap happen, or how exchanges work in general, right? And it's like, for me, it was obvious because I've been studying economics and I understand stuff like that. But it's just fascinating to me how many people don't know like the most basic things of, if I sell something, who buys, or where does the buy come from, or whatever. It's
apparently most of the regular influencers don't understand that concept either, because they were running around for months asking where the ETH goes.
Yeah.
Well, and, Johnny is so right. And even with Mark mentioning, onboarding his dad, I think a big part of onboarding people is kind of like, sometimes you have to let them know how the fiat system works, or how you can be devalued by inflation. And if you've got something like Hex, which is a hedge against that, and it has a set inflation rate, then it's more predictable than fiat.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest argument that I give people nowadays. I just showed them the chart of the US dollar.
Yeah.
I just showed them the chart of how much they've printed more. And like, no one knows. That's the weird thing. Like, everyone's watching news, but no one is informed.
Yeah, go try to get $100,000 out of the bank. See
It's
what
so
happens.
interesting. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that in cash today. Can you have that for me? No.
What do you need to do?
No.
What are you going to do
Not
with
gonna
it?
happen. Afraid not. We might be able to give you 10. A couple days, we might be able to give you 10 more. We're gonna have to fill out a report. Yeah, I mean, that's the kicker about fiat in general, is that people don't understand that we've been living on digital currency this whole time, and the fact that 2/3 of the money that just came in, 2/3 of the money that exists just came into circulation
It's crazy,
this
man.
past year. So that's like insane. And then before that money was put in, if everybody were to go to the bank and say, give me my money, take all of it out, and I want it in cash, before those 2/3 were made, it would take 320 years running the presses 24/7, printing $100 bills in order for everybody to get their money that's supposedly in existence. So when you realize that, crypto doesn't look so damn bad, because at least it has actual physical numbers that you can look at and limitations. We don't really know what, who has what, and the blockchain's important. At least you know which wallet has what and where it's going, right? You don't know the US dollar at all.
So basically, we can't double spend, but the US government can, right? Like the whole blockchain is to not double spend, right? The
government can
make sure you can.
They just print more.
Exactly. So basically, the government is a broken blockchain.
That's
everybody.
That's the kicker. It's not even printing. All they're doing is adding a unit of
number
to a computer screen. There is no actual physical printing. So when the money goes they now with 2/3 being added, you're talking 900 years to print the amount of money that's in circulation. Anybody going to be around for 900 years? I don't think so.
Richard.
So,
I want to switch topics maybe a little bit if you guys are ready, just because the commenters are already talking about it. But Ermif Noy says gas is a serious problem, not worth staking less than 1 million hex, and that's why Richard is hard forking Ethereum for hex to be on its own network and its own thing similar to Ethereum, but with less fees. What do you guys think about that?
I think you can stake less than 1 million. I mean, the amount that it depends on how long you stake it. That's for sure. Like,
if you're doing 30-day stakes, then no, you don't want to stake less than 1 million. That's pretty silly. If you're still doing 30-day stakes, you don't understand how hex works. So you might think you do, but you obviously don't, because you're going to continue to move the share price against yourself. 100,000, you could stake that out for 5 years. I don't think you're going to be worrying about gas fees when that comes up.
I don't think so either.
Even 10,000 stakes, those wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the gas fees right now. But if you moved it out 5 years from now, I don't think you're going to have to worry about those. So,
and also think about bear markets. They will come. And so if
you'll be back to a penny again for transactions.
Yeah, and they're pretty good to. It's pretty easy to predict a bear market in like a range of years. So if you really care about the gas prices, then you could probably say, all right, in 2 or 3 years, I want my stakes to end, because then probably there's a bear market, I guess. That might be a solution as well, but we're getting on a new chain anyway, so everything will be basically copy pasted, I think, and then you just end your stakes there, right? So then all of a sudden it does. You're able to do stakes of 100K or something.
And staking's optional. Staking's optional. You can accumulate now, okay, and get your hex accumulated. That's and true. Then stake later.
Yeah, for sure.
Stake when the fees are down.
I think people who are staking now bigger amounts because of the gas fee situation, they will be thankful in the future because they stake big amounts. So, but yeah, I agree. Like if you stake 1 million for 30 days, the fees will eat up your profit. So this is also not the system actually, I think, at the moment. And you make more hex, the contract is working, but the environment is not.
It's just not smart. Like, what are you going to do with your hex between now and a year? What are you going to do with it? Like, I don't know. Probably nothing, for me at least. So why would I then stake for half a year or whatever? No, all my stakes right now. So all my stakes are like, I'm putting them at least 5 years into the future, because I've built everything until 5 years. So every time you're ending something, then you can put it 5 years later again, because you still have the rest coming. So
the perspective is it is a savings account. Okay, you save. You're supposed to be saving in this account. It's not a dumping account. It's a savings account. So you want to put money that you don't need now and pay it to your future self in the future, not right now.
Yeah.
So it's funny because, like the influencers were coming at us with the get rich quick scheme. No. This is a build wealth over time thing.
Yeah, long time.
There's nothing get rich quick scheme. What it just increased in value so quickly that just happened to be a side effect. But yeah, if you're thinking short term and Hex, then don't stake. If you're waiting for a price pump because you're making small stakes, then you're better off just holding it liquid and then go ahead. Sell it right now for a penny. We'll catch it.
Also, if you're making short stakes right now, and then you're planning on cashing out, then you still do not understand the economic crisis that we're already in. You do not understand the tsunami of inflation that is coming to the United States and this world. People do not understand the risk that you're in when you're in a fiat. Like, it's insane. Every time I get paid now in my company, everything goes into crypto or in Hex, because I don't have any use case for euros now. There's no use case. Like, what am I going to do? Sit on there? Sit on it?
So think about this. If you have a bank account and your bank account reaches $1 million, what are you going to do with your bank account? Are you going to take all your money, $1 million out, and sleep on it under the pillow? Or are you going to let it stay in there and earn interest, right? Are you going to take out what you need and leave the rest in there gaining interest? Or do you really want to sleep with it under your pillow? So I don't understand these big cash outs at all when you are getting the highest possible interest that you could make anywhere on your money. Why would you want to pull it out of there to just, put into what? Where are you going to put it? You're going to put it into some of these promise coins? You're going to put it into fiat, which is constantly losing value? I mean, where is the driver that people say, oh, I reached $1 million, let me cash out and put it into a stable coin? You have just given up your opportunity to make interest, and you've given up your position, and it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But for some reason, people think that they want that tangibility. They want to hold on to that pile and say, I got a pile. Great, you got a pile.
It's an old belief, man. It's an old belief.
What are you going to do with it now that you got it, right?
Yeah.
Take what you need, leave the freaking rest to work for you. I mean, it's just that damn simple.
Yeah.
But old habits die hard, right?
And people,
Johnny said,
what?
And people are greedy by the end. They want to have more. So it's
yeah.
But if you want more, leave it in.
Yeah, then leave it in. Yeah. If you want more, leave it in.
But you have to understand this mechanism first.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What makes sense is something like David Peter taking it out to pay off his debt so that he's no longer making that payment, which frees up his money to allow him to put more into his savings account. That makes sense. But taking a big stack out just to have it and put it into stable coins and watching the share rate move away from you makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But it's the trader mentality, right?
Especially when you have, helicopter money happening, and, like you mentioned within the past year, just so much of the current supply has been printed. It's like, man, are you going to be wanting to devalue your wealth, or do you want to actually have it appreciate?
What?
So yeah, Hex definitely is that long-term savings account. And it is funny how people, like you said, Johnny, like, get rich quick scheme. It's like, do you not realize the longest length you can stake is 15.2 years? Like, what is quick about that at all? Nothing.
Yeah, why are these people putting $1 million out 15 years? That doesn't make any sense at all. The question you should say is, if it doesn't make sense to you, then you aren't understanding why they're doing it. You need to look a little bit deeper to what it is they're seeing that you're not. Just because you're not comprehending it doesn't mean that there isn't a reason for it. And when somebody throws $1 million and they put it 15 years out, and then they have a second stake that is $11 million, and they stake that out another 10 years, I think you would be paying attention going, what is it that these rich people know that I don't? Right? That's the question.
Good point.
And I am doing that.
When it is the top,
sorry?
when it is the top performing asset.
Yeah,
Yeah, that as well. It's so weird to me that Hex didn't get covered so much after it was official that Hex was the most, like the best performing asset of 2020. It's like
they'll never
insane
say that.
how that does not get any coverage. It's so weird.
They'll never say that, dude. They'll never say it. They're gonna hide it. They're gonna sweep it under the rug. They'll
I've
never
seen
let
one
anyone see that
article,
chart.
dude. One article that Hex was the top performing asset. That's it.
Oh, I saw charts and lists where literally they would start at number 2 and just left.
No, really?
Number 2 got the number 1 position. So they had
Bro.
Chainlink up there and they had Celsius up there, and they literally left Hex off the map.
Who was making those lists then? I don't get, how is that so that means that all those news things are centralized AF. Like,
yeah, they are.
I never looked in it, but
people
that
don't
is
understand.
It's weird. What?
No, this
It's
is
like three major crypto sources, and they're all got the same agenda, guys. It's just like the news in America. Pretty much, it's like we've got different perspectives of the same misdirection. I haven't watched news in 7 years. I'm over it because it's all just stuff to get you all ruffled up, and it's all yes.
And it's the same in crypto. Like if you look at the big news websites or like, we had CoinMarketCap, which is owned by, I don't know, Binance or it's Binance.
Yeah.
So by the end, it's like a big black hole who is sucking in dumb people with dumb money, and you're just in a way manipulated because they want you to show you what they want you to see. So it's
controlled perspective.
Yeah.
It's also it's sad, man, because the people that don't have, for example, people that don't have a crypto or whatever, or but are looking into it, sometimes I get messages from people and they send me articles and I don't even read them. I already know it's bullshit and it's also probably outdated. Like most people that get any crypto news, they get the news after it's been like 3 days or whatever. Like that news is already garbage.
Oh, it's not even 3 days, man. Day 1, Hex launch. Cointelegraph puts out an article about Hex being a scam. So you could literally place those articles on the timeline and look, those were the best opportunities to buy Hex.
Somebody do
so
that,
if you want to bet against those major companies that are putting out the crypto news, I would advise that because it's worked out really well as far as Hex. Go check the dates and then go check the Hex chart and see where they fall.
It's a projection of fear too. Like when you see someone pointing the finger, like in reality, a lot of times it's just projection. So even with, I think it was like the first day that Hex launched or something like that with Tone Vase and all the lawyers, and Richard had just stayed up for hours. Like those guys, they wouldn't be doing it if they didn't see Richard as a threat and Hex as a threat. And now, after so much time has passed, like a lot of those, quote unquote, like traditional influencers and whatnot, they just shut up about it because they don't want to be called out that they were wrong. But time has shown that they're wrong.
Literally what that resulted in, Tone got his gang squad together because Richard owned him in that debate. Yeah. So Tone then got his gang squad together, all his boys, and Richard walked in there to know it wasn't a party and knew that it was a gang fight. And he walked in there anyway, sleep deprivation and everything else, and still stood his ground. And I think that's very admirable to say. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I know nobody here likes me, and I'm going to kick in the door, and I'm going to this party anyway. Let's go. And that's what happened. But it was a result of that interview that they did, where he basically destroyed Tone and exposed his behaviors. And yeah. He had nothing to say except that's all he had.
And in the end, I'm still convinced it's more personal than the product Hex or whatever. It is going against the person Richard, and of course against the product he's doing. He can do whatever he wants to do. He will always be the bad man in there.
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure.
No, in their eyes, I wanted to finish the sentence, but like in their eyes, they will maybe change. But those are the fuck boys. like you said, he bring the gang, some lawyers. They were just going against him and not against.
Yeah, like
The
that is
irony
the point
there.
for what?
The irony there is the lady that came in later to the show bought Hex. And they clipped that out, but she did. She goes, "Well, I'm gonna go get some right now." They cut it out. They cut that
the
out.
whole stream.
And I have to thank Tone. Thank you so much for laughing about it being one sat when it was one sat. I banged big on that. Thank you so much for laughing about it. I mean, you literally called the floor.
Yeah, lol.
Well, and you know, they say like the best time to buy is when there's blood in the streets. You know, I remember $80 Ethereum and people thinking that it was going to go back to $5 and $10 and $2. And what do you know? That was the maximum point of opportunity. And it just really goes to show you that this, like, not collectivism, but like this group think of people kind of following the herd instead of being able to think for themselves. Like, you know, you got people buying $60,000 Bitcoin, and you know, it's not even paying you an interest, right? There's a lot to it, but
It's
I
all
think a
herd.
lot of us.
Crypto space is all herd, man, because you know, how many posts do you see? What should I buy? What's the top 10 coins? What's this? What's this? They're followers. They're not leaders. They you know, people have this thing where they connect to this person that they believe knows more than them, and they just follow them blindly down this little path. And then they say, okay, well, you guys are all blind and you're following Richard. No, he produced a product. We tried it. It actually works and we like it. It's not a matter of just following blindly. You know, these other things is these people can just give a shout out to a coin, and that's what they're paid to do, is give a shout out to a coin. They get a paycheck, they dump on their viewers' heads, everything's good, and that's business as usual for them. For us, we're actually supporting the thing that we know that works and would like to share that with other people so they don't get wrecked, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting. Hex actually made me start to understand how to think of charts. Like, I don't really. What?
I was reading the Naomi Blackwell interview. Yeah, she obviously didn't have her information together before doing that interview. And you don't, oh, let me get to the dirt. Let me hire the disgruntled employee that got kicked off the project who had absolutely nothing to do with the existing code. And let's interview him. And then let's ignore the founder and kick them off to the side while taking this guy's words for it. That made perfect sense. That's crypto news for you.
Yeah, dude, since Hex, like, I was always terrible at calling tops or bottoms. And since Hex, since I actually stopped trying to call them, now I kind of get to understand when it's a top or a bottom. It's pretty cool. Hex actually made me understand that herd, that herd mentality, and see when it happens, and then actually think of for myself and think probably not, and then you just do your own thing, right? And I also thought one time, like everyone is following Richard. That was my idea, and I just wanted to. That was just a thought experiment for me. Like, all right, everyone's following Richard. Yeah, that's true, because that guy is smart, man. That guy creates results. And then I thought, but
if Richard tells you to jump off a bridge, you're not going to do it.
No, exactly. That's the difference.
Some kind of crap coin. You know, if Richard says, you know, tomorrow buy this coin, are we going to just go buy this coin, or are we going to actually look at it?
That's the difference. Yeah. And a lot of those influencers, like, people will jump off of a bridge for them when they think there's an ICO on the bottom.
I mean, even when Richard talks about the forks or you know, adding this or adding that, you know, we get all worked up, right? We're like, oh, well, what's that mean? Is that going to affect things? Is it going to make things bad? Why? Because we're all analytical people, right? Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people in the community, and it shows that they don't just blindly trust Richard. We do hope that he does the right thing, and we figure he's smart enough to do the right thing. But our immediate reaction when there is change is we get all uppity. Right? We're not just, that is not an indicator of a blind follower. Yeah. That is an indicator of a concerned investor. Okay. We can't let that get out of control sometimes, because it does, because we are change resistant creatures. But that should pretty much be any indicator for anybody to see that we're not just blindly following anybody,
Yeah, which makes me really bullish on Hex as well. Like, man, the things that make me bullish on Hex is just so many things. So many.
How can you not be bullish on Hex? We're still standing at a penny. I mean, that's
it's weird to me, man. It's so weird
the
to me.
Time how long we stayed at the penny now. I made one chart for me, just like you said, Mark, like once you stop looking or searching for tops and bottoms, you just look at the chart, and I think, yeah, okay, we will go for this much time on with a penny, and then things will go up. And it's like, we are standing so long at this level, it has to explode in a way. It cannot just make a little baby pump after that. Like, it's not possible.
Since New Year's, since New Year's, we've done nothing but consolidate.
Accumulating.
Yeah.
We call that support, folks. We call that very, very strong support, which means we are standing on a bottom. So when people are saying, I'm waiting on that dip, you're standing in it.
There is no you're standing in it. Yeah.
Right now, you're standing in it. Don't give me this, I'm waiting for another 1/10 of a penny dip. Watch that share rate just work its way away from you while you're waiting on the sidelines.
For sure, man.
Johnny, I had a coworker that was interested in getting into Hex, and he's like, it was at like 80% of a penny, like recently, before it pumped up. Literally the next day, that shit went like over a penny and like went up like 30% in like a couple of days. But I mean, I agree. Why are you, not only are you going against the share rate itself, but no one has a crystal ball on whether it's going to go up or down. And you're right, we are kind of at support. We have been hovering at a penny for quite a while.
Feels like a pretty damn safe zone. Dog, you got your mic muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I have a farting dog in the background. I have to.
Well, as long as you don't have a shitting dog in the background like Kyle did.
Oh yeah,
right on camera.
I felt so bad when I saw this. Like, no, he just emergency unstaked immediately in the room. So that was fun.
Yeah.
So what do we have in the chat else? We have like a lot of people who are super bullish on Hex. That's great. I am bullish on Hex.
I hate the project. I don't like it. It's a scam, I think.
No, it's funny. I have still one commenter in my YouTube videos. Like every day he wrote, Hex and I leave him. I think I like him. It's like
I'll keep this one.
The algorithm, yeah. I mean, that's what it comes down. It's all about engagement.
Yeah.
It's just like
that's what I say also. Like I leave them because it looks like they are commenting on my videos, so I don't block so many people. That's okay.
I don't get them much. They end up deleting their own comment by the time I'm done with them. I love it when they show up because I like to pull a Richard and go, oh, okay, bright guy, let's have a conversation, shall we? And they end up deleting their own comments.
No, that's great. But yeah, what Johnny, what's your opinion on the forking stuff? Because what I didn't got yet, it's mainly we are doing this because of the fee situation, and we cannot wait until a bear market will solve the fee situation for us. So I'm still not totally or completely through this thoughts to leave the main chain, which we were so long like fighting for, because like before we had to convince the people that Bitcoin is outdated, so we need to go on the place where the cool kids are. But my thought is now maybe we will gonna do the place for the future cool kids. So yeah, that's kind of it. We're taking ETH at the level that it is and making a copy and moving along the path. In actuality, what's funny about this is, ETH 2.0 has been promised for how long? Staking on ETH has been promised for how long, right?
The coin burning thing, they're just now implementing it. Hex has already been doing staking, coin burning, and all this stuff already, right? So the programmers that he's got working on this have already solved the problems that the whole group of ETH hasn't been able to do yet. So for us to take it from here and say, okay, we'll start with this as the foundation and we'll improve from here, right? I can see that as being very beneficial. And beyond that, you know, I don't want to go into this, but I mean, if it works well, people might migrate from the Ethereum system over to the new system because of the fees, just like people are migrating to Matic now in order to try to save fees. You know, if you create the bigger, better mousetrap, people do migrate. It does draw some of that economic energy. So I'm just going to have to say, look, you know, Richard would not be doing this if he didn't think it was absolutely necessary. He was very resistant originally because people were like, oh, well, we need to go on this chain or we need to go on that chain. No, it's like, look, if we're going to do that, we might as well have our own control where we're able to fix the things that need to be addressed without being dependent on another network to solve those problems for us. You know, Hex doesn't stand by and bitch and complain. It does, right? Everything else is, you know, and the biggest thing is the fact that not once, but twice, Ethereum has actually forked up, you know, done the soft fork, and then, you know, they're adding their new features on there, but not once, but twice have they amplified the amount of gas that is required to use Hex, right? So that has been one of the only choke points of Hex, is the fact that it has certain dependencies, like on the Ethereum network and the gas fees. That's what people in the community are suffering by, and that's something that needs to be addressed, and that's something that he's addressing. So
I'm totally agree with you that this is the main issue, at least what I see, the small stakers. So that's not possible that a small staker get burned by the fees, like destroyed by the fees. But yeah, like you said it, like, because we were so strong on this topic before, that we have to move to Ethereum and not to Tron or BNB or whatever fuck chain. So I think this is really like, that's where I'm still struggling a little bit to do the understanding, because my first...
Well, we're not moving to a ghost chain. We're keeping all the interoperability. Okay, that's the kicker. Okay, we keep the interoperability and we create our new chain based on that. So if we don't have the interaction with QuickSwap or Uniswap or any of these, we can fork that and create our own. So literally like building our own city that has all the utility that we need, because we're starting with the right foundation. So, and initially with the launch of Hex, these gas fees were not something that was going to be a problem. Okay, we knew they would go up, but we didn't expect multiple forks and for Ethereum to totally work against us and stack it to the point where, you know, it's just not it's unaffordable for most people to use Ethereum right now.
Yeah, totally agree. But it was the same with 2017 when you can buy cats, and now you're gonna buy.
Yeah, that's true. But even
then, not this extreme. This is pretty extreme. This is more extreme than that. You weren't looking at, you know, some fees.
Of course,
it's $400.
Of course, we have like more people than 2017 back in, and we have more people than 2014, 13, and I don't know, you know, like this is, I think, natural, but it's okay. I think it's a good idea to move, and like you said, we have to address this problem for small and medium stakers. It's not possible to use this great product and you get destroyed by the transport layer.
The cool thing about this is that so even if we, like, let's say this was already always part of the roadmap. It wasn't, but let's say it was. Then it's a really good marketing situation, man. Where you start on the Ethereum chain, where everyone is used to things, and we already have tools and all that, and then you get like a solid growth in the amount of users in Hex, and you prove yourself, and from then on you say, all right, that's it. Let's move.
We're grown up now. We can walk on our own feet.
And the big difference between all those other ERC20 tokens that created their own chain, we actually have something that makes sense to use. We have actually something to use, and so our chain won't be a ghost chain because we have something to use. like already. So we don't even need other projects or other nonsense to be on the chain, because we already have something that we're going to use and we can build on top of it. But most of it, like we
let
have
me
it.
ask you guys this: why should Ethereum miners be getting a percentage of our earnings in Hex?
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Do we have a middleman right now? We do. It's the Ethereum miners.
Yeah.
Right. They're charging exorbitant fees. They're taking a large percentage of our share, and Richard doesn't like that.
This is perfect, man.
I agree with you, and also I'm not sure how it's called. Like the next, the Berlin the Berlin soft fork or whatever you want to call it. Like with the EIP 15 something, like when they gonna raise again the cost for smart contracts.
Yeah, 2.5x the fees that we're paying now.
I think this is not an attack against Hex in general. This is just another issue in the Ethereum ecosystem. But it's like I'm really looking forward, because like we were waiting so long for Hex, like before it was launched, and then now we have it already for almost 500 days now, I think, and we can look forward to a new chain. Like, how exciting is that in general? Like, to be part of the process and how it involves. So,
well, what's interesting is the fact that you see in the growth of Hex that if there's a roadblock, it gets bypassed. You know, no matter what pops up, we have a plan to go around it. And I think, you know, we spend a lot of time talking about, look, Hex is a finished product, and people are like, oh, it's done. What's it do? It's done. It's over. They're not doing anything. They're done with it. That, you know, that's kind of what happened when EOS came out, right? Well, it's a done product. Bye, guys. On to the next project. You know, so people kind of got that in their head. So when they hear that Hex is a finished product, I don't know that their perception is soaking that in, when, you know, it is a finished product, but that does not mean that it doesn't have areas of growth or more accessibility or other things that it may do in the future, because it is finished, but things can be added to it. There are accommodations that can be added. It still can be built onto. And I think that's what they miss about the fact that it's complete. But as its standalone product, if it weren't for the gas fees, the code does what it does, which is basically, it's a substitution for miners. You know, it's a proof of stake. It's a substitution for miners. It allows everybody come in and compete, you know, for their part of the new supply without having to purchase heavy mining equipment or have any overhead. Anybody at any level can come in and participate, and that's what we've always been. So, you know, now that we have this new fork coming in, it's going to level the playing field again, that we can have that adoption that we deserve, and more people can come in and participate, because gas fees will no longer be limiting them and their ability to get in.
Totally agree. It's like what Nate J says, like, we used to pay a penny for a transaction. I remember good, like, and this is, maybe we forgot a little bit that this was also like the situation, and now it's completely different. So.
Well, I kind of felt this. I'm like, oh, okay, because, you know, first when I got into Hex, I didn't quite understand the gas fees and stuff and paying the fees. It's like, why am I paying fees for transactions on my own money? I mean, I always felt that, like, right from the beginning, even when it was small fees. But I was thinking to myself that, you know, yeah, this could be a choke point, because we are dependent on Ethereum. We are dependent on Ethereum miners, and they could jack us. Well, here we are, guys. We're getting jacked. So we're just going to have to go around it. But now I have my answer, right? So this is how we address when Ethereum decides that they're going to jack us, is we're just going to go our own way.
Richard always has like kept that as as a possibility, and he's always mentioned that. And someone was saying, like, with the fees that's going on a daily basis, it's like $15,000 US it's worth. And to your point, that's just going to middlemen, aka Ethereum miners. You know, what if that money could go back into the Hex ecosystem?
Go ahead, guys. I'm just sitting back. I talked to you.
I was reading a comment, man, of Hexdex about the security. But what was the point? Like, let's discuss this after this one. Well, could you repeat it?
Or what I was just saying was that Johnny mentions that Ethereum miners are similar to like a middleman, and with the fees going up, they used to be a penny, and then all right, a couple pennies, and now $1, and then now we're paying $100-something. But he was saying that if we hard fork Ethereum and Hex is on its own, its own network, then Richard was mentioning the fees could be significantly lower. So if Hexicans on a daily average basis are spending $15,000 in fees, well, maybe if they're not going to the Ethereum miners in the future, maybe it could go back into the Hex ecosystem or be used for something else.
Oh yeah,
and this is
maybe
all
that's
around.
for sure.
Okay, so if we pull Hex onto our own fork, that's less calculations on the Ethereum network, and that helps that price go down too, right? Because most of our both of our transactions are done on the new fork. So that's removing ourselves, and I'm sure that Hex is not the only thing. In fact, I've already saw a couple other things where they were talking about forks of Ethereum because of gas fees. So what happens is you end up with all these little branches going off and everybody's leaving the main net. And as a result of that in itself will reduce the bogging on the Ethereum network, and the gas fees will go down. Except for this fact, we will have Hex on the Ethereum chain and Hex on the new chain. So we basically get a share split.
Free money.
Share, split, double your wallet, enjoy.
Double your t-shirts. We're going to call it free money chain. That's what we're going to call it. Hey, Hexdex had a comment. He said, so Ethereum could not do it, but Richard Hart and a couple of guys can do it. Security can be a real... Huh? What?
I like that. Isn't that? Yeah, you know what? I talked about that earlier. It's like, look, guys, sometimes you have too many chefs in the kitchen to get anything done. It's hard to have a consensus of 100 people, but when you got a couple people in a direction, yes, actually, you can get a lot more done with a couple really good people in a direction and not a bunch of red tape holding you up from doing things. So there's your answer.
That's a good point. Yeah, for sure. And then Hextech said that was one of the selling points of using Ethereum, that it's battle tested. Well, yeah, but we're also going to copy a lot of it, right? Like we don't need to build everything from scratch, or they need to do it. I don't do it. But
right. So like it's a copy of what it is. So where is the part where what we're copying hasn't already been battle tested?
Plus, yeah, exactly. And the reason why he takes staking, like proof of stake, is because you can't get 51% attacked, right? Right.
So if we stayed with proof of work and ran our own chain, then we would have the potential of 51% attack. But switching to proof of stake, as Richard said, find a proof of stake coin that has been 51% attacked. You can't. That's a minor thing.
Yeah.
So
so Hextech said that he has his doubts with the security for the new chain, but like if you have those other chains, right, of those other ERC20 tokens, or used to be ERC20 tokens, if you see those chains, most of them don't have a problem, right? And I am pretty confident that if Richard can make a
so where's the concern? Stay on the old chain. You're getting bonus Hex. Stay on the old chain. You're not going anywhere. Your Hex stakes that are on the original chain are still there. You're not losing anything. You can only gain from this move. Okay, there is no losing.
Yeah, now you say that, that's true. So if the new chain messes up, if there's something going wrong, then everyone just goes back to the Ethereum chain. And if you keep your stakes on there, the price will skyrocket on the Ethereum chain, because it probably would have gone down when we go to the new chain. So if you just kept on staking on the Ethereum chain and it goes up again, then it's like nothing ever happened. Yeah, that's a good point. And then we can just try again.
But I mean, it's change, guys. It's change. Okay, we're all going to be resistant to things that are change. I remember listening to everything that was changed about Hex as it was being developed. It wasn't just, okay, this is exactly what we're doing out of the box. No, there were things that were added. There were things that were changed. It's called Hex. It's not called Bitcoin Hex anymore. Okay, the adoption amplifier was not originally in there. Okay, things were discovered, things were figured out on the path of development, and every move that has been made has been the benefit for Hex. And I don't see any reason to think that any other further improvement isn't going to be with that in mind.
Totally agree. Yeah. Then this is like, we had a comment just a little bit up here. Where was it? That Richard has proven that creating Hex that innovate and leadership in crypto can be accomplished. So like, it has a reason why when we saw this live streams like 2016, 2017, Richard was talking about this stuff. It has a reason why we believed what he said, and he showed us the proof that he's doing it. And it's like you said, it will be for the good of for the well-being of Hex, at least. So it will not done any harm on Hex, because this is his project, still not product, but it is now again his project. So he will be sure that it will go in the right direction. And I think you're also right when you say if you have less devs or less chefs in the kitchen, you will have a faster agreement where you want to go. And I think where we want to go, it's pretty clear, and the direction is given by Richard Hart now. So
it's primarily one dev that created Hex. Primarily one dev.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, it's primarily one dev that created Hex.Live. Do you remember that? And Firebun, as good of a programmer as he is, who created Hex.Vision, did awesome, but he looked at Hex.Live and he was convinced that it was a team of people. No, it was just Steph. Yeah. So we have some very, very powerful developers in Hex. And, you know, to try to compare your average coder to the developers that we have in Hex is, you know, there's just no comparison. There really isn't. I've never seen something. How many promise coins have you seen and they can't even get a developer to put, you know, change the damn block size, for God's sakes? And, you know, we have whole new websites appearing overnight with full computational data and every way freaking imaginable. Have you guys looked at Hex.Vision? That's one of our developer. Okay.
On-chain
one
data.
Of our developers. And that developer, as good as he is, thought that the other developer was a full team of people. Soak that in for a bit.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's an awesome point. Didn't knew that little part of the story. I knew that Hex Life was made by Steph, but I didn't knew that Firebun thought it was a team. That's amazing. But yeah.
Yeah.
I
heard about that the other day
funny
too.
Story, okay, about development. Okay. There was a project that was in the research and development lab at the medical corporation that I worked at. And they had a team of people working on this particular thing for a year. Okay. My first week, I fixed it because it kept getting rejected all year. And my first week of R&D was I put out this $120,000 project that had been getting returned for the past year. So that's one person knowing something that the other people didn't. And the other people were a development team. So just soak that in.
Sometimes it takes that missing puzzle piece, you know?
Sorry?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it takes like the one missing puzzle piece and to kind of like fit it in properly. And so when Johnny talks about Firebun thinking Steph was like a team, Hex really does have the cream of the crop. And I mean, Steph was working as like a senior lead developer for Google, and he quit that job to start working on, you know, the things that he's doing now. Staker app,
6-figure salary job, quit it to go work on Hex full time.
Who was?
That says something. Steph.
Ah, all right. I didn't know that. That's cool.
No, that's cool. But I think, yeah, you're right. And it's not like with what I wanted to say also before, like with Richard Hart, we have somebody which have the experience of how to run a business like in the traditional way, but he also is in crypto or blockchain technology since the beginning. Like you cannot be more like you cannot be that much earlier than he was in Bitcoin mining. And I think we have a great OG in as our leader. So this is I really appreciate all the knowledge which we'll see, and I'm really convinced that we will go in a good direction, even by leaving Ethereum. I'm not a huge fan of Ethereum. I'm not a huge fan of the fees. And when I see now stuff which is in crypto, everything is repeating itself, just a little bit different. But now we have the drama about this, and we had it 3 years ago about the fees, and then everybody was forking off because of the fees and the block size, and now we talk about this. So yeah, it's just normal
well,
drama.
everybody was forking off before because they were trying to be an Ethereum competitor. And let's be honest here, Tron literally cut and pasted Ethereum's code, even their white paper. They were in trouble for plagiarizing it. So, I mean, it was such a severe epidemic of forking and splitting, and basically people just, getting copies of copies, right? So this is where it makes people uncomfortable about, oh, well, Hex is going to fork now. Everything else has done this. So, that makes people a little uncomfortable, but there is a purpose for it. There's a purpose and there's a reason for it. And it's not a reason of we're going to take over the world. It's like, no, look, we are inventing things that are out of necessity, things that make things easier, things that make things work, right? There's nothing wrong with making steps to innovate in an innovative space. It becomes a problem when people are just doing things because it's profitable, right? If we can copy somebody else's homework and make it profitable, then that's what was happening in the 2017. What we're doing is we are making what we have function better and not limit people, based on their ability to afford to pay gas fees, right?
No, I totally agree. And I think when we talk about the copy and paste Tron stuff, he's really good at marketing, this dude. And but the technology behind this is weak, and it's just a copy of something somebody else did. And yeah, I hope we will have a better ecosystem where we can stake our Hex and get more T-shares. But
Yeah.
Billy makes a good point here. He's
that's a
talking
great
about,
comment.
Richard's mining 50 BTC blocks. I mean, all right, guys, find your favorite influencer. Any of them mining the 50 BTC blocks back in the day? No. Do you really think any of these influencers that appeared virtually overnight in 2017, where everybody was a genius because all they had to do was throw a dart at a board and say a name of a coin and it would go up in value, so they look like geniuses? That's where they built their following. So let's talk about these guys. Do you really think they have the experience that Richard does? No. Of
That's
course
what I said.
No. So Richard's been in the industry forever. He knows what's wrong with it, and he's trying to fix it. And the problem is they don't want it fixed. That's where it comes down to. It's profitable for them to keep the system broken so they can benefit from it and all its brokenness. So they don't want somebody coming in here and actually fixing stuff, actually doing innovation. And that's why he gets attacked. They like their broken system. Well, it's not good enough for us.
System. They also like the broken banking system, and now they like the broken crypto system. So it's about broken system which you can make money off, and this is what. Yeah, you're right.
And so nobody trying to take steps to make things better is going to be appreciated. They're going to be shunned because there are too many people in positions that they're happy to make money off the broke plebs that are following them to the slaughter. They're happy to keep it just this way. They don't want it any different. They profit from it. So, hey, it is what it is.
But with Hex, you will be safe. That's all you have to know.
Exactly. Well, cool, guys. I think we'll wrap up here. About 90 minutes is a good time. Does anyone have any final thoughts that you want to?
Yeah, last thing.
About,
Metallic Elmo said I think the current Ethereum miners don't give a fork about ETH. They care about making money just like all the other coin miners. And I couldn't agree more. I'm kind of sick of all those miners. It's not a good system anymore to have miners that sell down the price and only give a damn about their own fees. It's like a conflict of interest, right? You want the fees to be as low as possible, but then the guys who make the fees, they want them to as high as possible. It doesn't work.
Of course.
I think this is
that's a good point.
Squeeze is what we're looking at.
What?
The reason prices are so high, it's like the final squeeze. They see the writing on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
It's happening, and then they need to cover their payment. They need to cover all that equipment that they bought because
they want it for as long as possible. Yeah. But that was just a quick point that I wanted to make.
I think this is a good ending point.
Hell yeah. Well, I guess if anyone wants to say, where they can find you, I know I got Hodl.Dog and Mark, and then I'll update Johnny's Twitter as well in the description. So for anyone that couldn't find him before,
in the description?
Yeah. You're at least your
much.
YouTube and your Twitter's there, but I need to add Johnny as well, so everyone can always.
I just show up random on everybody else's streams.
Yeah, he's just random.
Exactly. Well, I like it, man. I appreciate your streams, Johnny, and even like the short clips. It's always like refreshing. Man.
The short clips are golden.
Well, I try to keep you guys entertained and motivated. That's what I do.
You reached your goal every day.
And thank you for having me as part of the conversation. I like all you guys' content as well. I do watch you. You catch my comments here and there. I'm watching you. I'm always watching.
Yeah, like a hawk.
And Hodl.Dog, you're doing really good with those. I like to refer people to you that are beginners because you do a real clear introduction on how to get into Hex and everything. And Markable's got some very interesting thoughts on promoting and videos and putting things together. And he's very motivational on getting people started. And Bran, what can I say about Bran? Bran's diehard hardcore. He's into everything. Everything Hex, he's into it.
He's in all the streams, man.
And he's in all the streams.
I haven't seen
he's
anyone
watching everybody. He's making donations. He's like the best motivator we've got in all the Hex here. So we appreciate you too, man.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we'll end it here. If anyone wants to stay in the green room, they can. But we'll end it right here. And thanks everyone for tuning in, and see y'all next time.